Hello, vegans. Welcome. This is Ryan of Happy, Healthy, Vegan, coming to you pretty much 6 p.m. Pacific time, Friday. This is the week, the time of the day, the time of the week. God, I'm all messed up today. This is the day, the time that we get together and discuss any and all things vegan. So if you're vegan, and I see all our early people here, or all the regulars, our great happy fams, and just regular people, just regular happy, non-happy fam channel viewers that have been supporting us all these years. Thank you everyone for showing up. Great to see y'all. And you guys know what we do. We get together and discuss any and all things vegan. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about typically, and then we kind of often talk about other topics after we discuss all the various vegan things that we want to talk about. So if you're interested in talking about vegan stuff, you're interested, you want to learn, you're vegan curious, you're vegetarian, whatever, you want to start a Veganuary challenge, you want to learn more about veganism during the month of January, this is the place to come. You have a lot of people here who can give you a lot of advice, so feel free to ask questions. Don't worry, we don't bite. We're not a-holes. We're not judgmental, horrible people or anything like that. Maybe some other vegans are, but that's not the kind of people that gravitate towards this live stream. So you're safe. It's pretty chill here. If you are not vegan and you don't give a crap about veganism, in fact, you're a bigot and you think I'm a horrible jerk, a horrible person just because I have a belief that, is different from yours. Well, first of all, you're the jerk for being a bigot. Secondly, if you want to try to state your case why you think your bigotry is so awesome and my decision, my personal choice, which really doesn't affect you to not eat animal products, why it's such a big deal, why you get triggered, I'd love to hear why you're such a precious snowflake. So yeah, comment, let us know why you're a precious snowflake, and we'll laugh at you. No, we'll try to hear you out without laughing too hard, but I'm sure it's going to be hilarious because, you're not the main character in this world, you anti-vegans. Anyway, guys, so welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us for our second live stream of 2026. Good to see you guys. Unlike last week, I remember I showed you my workout. I was totally just thrashed. It was like my first really insane zone 5 workout for months. So I was beat up last week, and I didn't really do much last week. And plus it was cold and raining, so I just kind of just didn't do anything anyway. So anyway, I'm much better today. I had a more sane workout today, 1 hour and 6 minutes versus 2 hours and 15 minutes. But more importantly, I spent 0 minutes, 0 seconds in zone 4 and zone 5. Spent about 20 minutes in zone 2, the rest in zone 1. So I feel pretty good today. I feel worked, but I didn't push myself into the red like last week, which is good. You don't always have to do that, especially if you're an old fellow like me and you're just trying to stay healthy. I'm not trying to try out for the Olympics or anything like that. I'm just some old dude trying to stay healthy and into older age. So anyway, let's see. Yeah, Peter, I still have another Daily Mail article to look at. Will I make 3 consecutive responses to the Daily Mail? They're just going hard because I remember I took a few weeks off at the end of December. Partially getting over the UTI. Secondly, just the timing of the holidays is all the major holidays were on the days I released videos, and I didn't want to deal with that, compete with that. So anyway, I looked, and my last video from mid-December was I responded to the Daily Mail where they said that the vegan kids are all malnourished and short and skinny and all that stuff. And then my video from yesterday, Daily Mail, once again. So let's talk about the Veganuary boss who quit and says, don't worry about eating plants and being vegan. Just eat whatever the hell you want. Eat all the meat you want. Just donate money to me, and I'll donate the money to the right causes and charities, and I'm going to fix all the problems. So don't you worry about a thing. Just keep eating all that meat and animal stuff. So anyway, that was yesterday's video. So now, Peter, you're saying the Daily Mail is at it this time again. They're saying that veganism and Veganuary is becoming less popular, and oat milk gives you cancer? Really? That's rich. I never heard about any compounds in oat milk that are linked to increased rates or increased risks of certain types of common cancers, unlike dairy. So that is just wow, we're totally at George Orwell Animal Farm, 2 legs good, 4 legs bad. It's just all backwards now. That's just crazy. Well, thanks for letting me know about that, Peter. I will take a look at the nonsense and maybe do a 3rd consecutive response to Daily Mail. It's not like they're my most viewed videos in the world or anything like that, but they're just making it too easy for me to make a response video. So welcome everyone else. Welcome AJ. I see VLAM here. Sorry you showed up right at the end of the premiere yesterday, V. I'm sorry that YouTube sends out the notifications kind of slowly. I think they dislike me. I don't know if they dislike me. I just don't think they love our channel. I don't think we get a high priority. So if they're sending out a bunch of notifications, ours are at the bottom of the priority list, if there is such a thing. So anyway, let's see. I saw Fu on earlier. If you're here, Fu, good to see you. I hope you're feeling better. You said you need some sleep, and don't we all, huh? Let's see, what's that, Heather? I see. As a vegan, it is sometimes good to just stop eating some foods that are not vegan and not replace them with the vegan counterparts, such as candy and junk food. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that you can if you want. And that's the whole thing. I really believe in this concept of freedom. I know it's been abused by a lot of peoples lately, but I really believe in the concept of freedom, meaning it's great to have that freedom. Sometimes with freedom comes like responsibility, and in this case, temptation. Maybe when you go vegan, you're kind of glad there's no vegan Ben and Jerry's, as was the case when I went vegan back in 2010. And then like 6 years later or so, there's some vegan dairy-free Cherry Garcia and fish food. Like, whoa. So I was glad to have that choice, and I have the willpower. I know a lot of people don't have as strong a willpower as I do. I have the willpower to maybe just go down that Ben and Jerry's road like a couple times a year. I honestly do not remember the last time I had some vegan Ben and Jerry's, but there is a boutique ice cream chain. I think they're West Coast based, Salt and Straw, and they go nuts in January. They put out a bunch of flavors. They usually have like one flavor year round, but in January they have like 4, 5, 6 flavors. So I'll partake a little bit in January just because you gotta do it when the getting is good and all. But anyway, but I know what you're saying. But you are right. From a pure health focused standpoint, which isn't necessarily everyone's goal here, but from a pure health focused standpoint, you are right with that comment. Like when you go vegan, you might as well just leave a lot of the stuff that wasn't good for you behind. There's no denying that that's a good idea for health, but not everyone's into it for health. There's a lot of people that don't give a crap about their health. I'm not one of those. I'm 58 and a half. I don't have kids. I got to be able to stay healthy, take care of myself. So health is quite important to me, and I actually take pride in my fitness and health. I'm proud of what I can do, and at my age and stuff. So it's cool. It's a good thing to be healthy, but it's not everyone's priority, and I fully realize that. I'm trying to not position myself as a health influencer. I hate the word influencer anyway, but a health focused channel. Even though I am focused on health, it's not like the primary message of this channel, even though healthy is in my name, but it's just like a goal. Like when we made our channel name, Happy Healthy Vegan. Not saying I am all of those. I am vegan, but just like what you aim for. You want to be happy in life. You can't maintain happiness 24/7. You can't maintain health 24/7. You can maintain veganism 24/7. There's no reason why you can't, despite all these I'm no longer vegan people's videos and stuff. Heidi, you do wish Ben and Jerry's made more vegan flavors and stuff? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it wouldn't hurt if they had a vegan of every one of theirs. But then, like I said, I wouldn't support it. Not that I'm against them or anything. They're not the same Ben and Jerry's. They've been sold to some big corporation. I wouldn't support it just because I don't want to eat all that high saturated fat frequently. I have a blood test next week, so gotta stay on top of my game here, not like go nuts. So if I'm near a Salt and Straw next week, I will not partake because I want to have some good blood labs. And the food pyramid, I don't know what's up with that. I thought it's been under attack for a long time. I guess it's much easier now with the way things are. The food pyramid was dumb before, and dumb now. I mean, like, I've never followed the food pyramid. I mean, is anyone here, raise your hand if you base what you eat from looking at some kind of food pyramid or something, whatever it evolved into, the food rhombus. I don't know what it has become or anything like that. I think it might affect like maybe how school lunches are constructed or something like that. So it does have some real world effects or implications. I think, I don't know, I'm not a health expert, but as far as like individual lay people, like 99% of us here, you just can look at it and go, okay. I mean, they've always had animal products on it, right? So it's not like any of us would want to follow the food pyramid in the first place, right? So that's a joke to vegans because it doesn't take into account the moral slash ethical implications of having certain foods on the list, as far as like, violating animals' rights. So anyway, let's say, hey VLAM, you're seriously considering putting your phone on Do Not Disturb and disabling all notifications when they're not working and all the spam calls. You keep yours on Do Not Disturb all the time, Carmichael. Yeah, I have a iPhone and iPad and all that stuff, so I use focus modes. Any of you guys know about that? It's kind of like that. You can like set up like certain times of the day or whatever. Like, I'll have my phone like completely locked down. Other times of the day, I'll have it a little more open. I have certain people on like call lists that can get through at certain times of the day and stuff like that. And so if you're not, basically, spammers are not supposed to get through. Sometimes it screws up. Sometimes the phone gets vegan brain fog and lets a spammer call through. I don't know why it does that. It's digital. It should be able to know 100% of the time, But anyway, but besides those occasional glitches, yeah, that's something you might want to look at if you're using iOS stuff, focus modes. I've been going really hardcore with those for years now. Dr. Oz recommends we drink more alcohol. Really? What kind of alcohol? I mean, I wouldn't mind a little wine here and there. I do enjoy a little wine here and there, but yeah, I'm not like, always drinking anything like that. A little bit doesn't hurt. Like LeBron James would understand, he's still dunking ferociously at age 41 in the NBA, still playing at an extremely high level. For whatever age, in any age, he's still like he's better than over half the players in the NBA still. But my point is, he drinks wine, I think, pretty much every night. He just a little bit, just for relaxing and recovery. So there can be something to be said for that. But, you really can't have that much, you know what I'm saying? The last bottle I bought of wine, I was specifically looking for a low alcohol content. And I found one that was like 8 or 8.5%. That's all I wanted. I didn't want something to get drunk off of. I just wanted something that I could pair with some food, enjoy, sip a little bit, and feel chill. And that's it. I don't want to get buzzed or anything like that. So anyway, I don't like being cognitively impaired. I mean, I would spit out wine and wine tastings if it was not kind of like, weird and socially to do that in public. I don't want to get buzzed or anything like that. I just want to taste and enjoy, experience some joy and pleasure and move on. But that sounds good, Nikki. If you're at a good Mexican restaurant and they have some tasty margaritas, yeah, we used to enjoy going to Gracias Madre in Newport. Closed a couple years ago, unfortunately, but yeah, it was one of our favorites. They're purista margarita. It didn't even look like the typical Mexican margarita. It doesn't have that margarita glass. It came just like in a regular, I don't know, like spirits kind of glass. I don't know what they're called. It was just really delicious. Pair it with some vegan, like taquitos and tacos, and great date night out that Angie and I fortunately got to experience maybe a few dozen times before they closed. So anyway, yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, Peter. Yeah, I love that movie. Sideways. Yeah, totally. Yeah, filmed in Central California, not too far from here, a little north of here. Yeah. Have I seen the movie Sideways? Yeah, for sure. I've seen it like maybe 3 or so times, where he drinks at the Spit Bucket and wine tasting bar. Yeah, I want to go travel and try some of these places. A lot of those places are real restaurants, real wine bars and stuff like that. Did I just get a notification? Did I hear a ding? Maybe I'm hearing things now. I guess that's what happens when you're vegan. Anyway, you didn't like Sideways? I always liked that actor, Tom Hayden Church, and his partner, the guy from like Billions and stuff like that. I always like those two actors. So I dug it. I just like it's got some bummer moments in there, but I just like the good times, the beauty of Central California. It's really romantic in my personal viewing of it. Just seeing gorgeous Central California, all the cool, spots in Solvang and Buellton and that whole area. I love that stretch of coast. So anyway, I want to go to Los Olivos one day. Have you guys ever been there? That's one little cool town down there. I've always never made it to. It's just like this cool little like eating, wine tasting town. Got to check it out sometime. Anyway, so what's going on? How's everyone else going here? You think green is my color? Hey, I just wore this shirt because it's long sleeve and it's cold. I mean, if you saw the temperature, you'd probably laugh, but it's just like a cold wind chill. It feels colder than what the thermometer reads. Like right now, it's like 56, and yeah, sometimes 56 feels really nice, especially when the sun's out, or even at night, 56 can be decent. But it's just been this weird cold that just whips all the heat off your skin. It comes in through all the cracks of the house or whatever. It's just really super not nice right now. So yeah, I'm just trying to just stay warm. Basically, I'm wearing some thick pants right now, just trying to stay warm in my house. You want to visit Cali again after this regime is over? Let's hope that's sooner rather than later, AJ. Yeah, come out here. We'll do some Italian vegan. You'll love it. The food, the wine, and some good company, if I may say so. And good company with you. Hey, Peter, member for 43 months. Thanks for renewing, Peter. Mike the Vegan put out a video about the new dietary guidelines. Am I going to do a video about them? Probably not. I just kind of let dietary stuff like get reviewed by people like Mike. He'll do a much better job. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he said everything that needs to be said. I would just be kind of repeating or redundant or point. It would be no point in me making one probably. I'm sure it'll just be a second-rate video compared to Mike's. So, yeah, I saw his video come out a couple days ago. Let's see. It was a freaking ice rink there in Boston for you. Wow. Yeah, it is that time of year. If it's going to get cold, it's going to get cold. Heat wave today for you, late model. 43. Wow. Let's see. Yeah, today, I don't have the... Oh, I did get it. Let's see. Let me check something really quick here. This is kind of interesting. 1 second here, guys. Huh. Okay, 1 second here. Sorry about that. Okay, nothing there. Okay, sorry. Looks something kind of important. That's why I stopped there for a second. Sorry, but it turned out to be nothing. Fu Man Poo, you love the monkey? What monkey are we talking about here? Heat wave for you too, AJ47. Wow, yeah, that's what it gets for us at nighttime. I think it was like in the low mid 40s last night here. Pretty cold for us. People think vegan food is gross, huh? Metalhead, but they eat a dairy cheese aged with maggots. You're not going to see vegans eating anything nearly like as gross as that. Wow. Anyway, it just came out this afternoon. I thought I saw Mike put out a video a couple days ago about that. Maybe it's something else. I'm not recalling the days exactly perfectly now. Anyway, I'm kind of tired. Even though I didn't do an insane workout today, I feel like I got the workout I need. I feel worked without, hopefully I shouldn't be, exhausted the rest of the weekend or anything like that. You saw a pigeon eating a chocolate bar today, Heidi. Well, you don't see that every day, I hope, huh? Wow, Fu Man, doing your steroids squats there. You had a near shark tragedy doing squats. Wow. That's wild. Yeah, I'm tired. It must be veganism. I mean, I had a good workout today. What can I say? I was out there hard. I was working in zone 2 like consistently. I feel that's a good workout. Yeah, you can't always go like into zone 4 or 5 every day unless you're young and used to it. But yeah, not me. I'm still getting over like, not being able to really exercise for like 4 or 5 weeks, late last year. So I'm easing my way back in, which you got to do at any age, but particularly if you're like near 60 like me, just can't go hardcore back in. I mean, unless you're like, super elite athlete or something like that, which I am not. Just an old dude trying to stay healthy. Wow, that's crazy. Metalhead, you saw someone make a homemade bomb who is 74 in your town recently? What was he making a bomb for? I hope it's not one of these like weird guys that think they need to like liberate the country or something like that. Okay, I do seem more upbeat than last time, Heidi. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I feel way better, even though I'm like forgetting things and stuff right now. But yeah, I should feel better. I mean, last week's workout was like twice as long, more than twice the calories, zone 4 and 5, craziness. So anyway, Dimitri, you finally caught me again. Awesome. I didn't mean it in a negative way. Are there any topics, or is it free for all? Philosophy, veganism, politics? Well, we avoid politics as much as possible on this channel. Unfortunately, it crosses over into a lot of life, non-political life these days, and we try to keep it to a minimum. So yeah, unless absolutely necessary, no politics. It's just kind of triggering and also just depressing for the most part. So but if you want to talk about vegan stuff, and you want to ask a philosophy question, perhaps that could be cool too, even though this ain't really a philosophy based
Weekly
channel. But we can delve in it a little bit, especially if it relates to veganism. Thank you, AJ, for weekly cult news. Thanks so much. Much appreciated, AJ. Yeah, Angie and I really need to go out and get a groovy meal sometime. So we will put that aside, and I'll let you know when we get out to do something like that again. I have a couple things that we're working on. A couple things we're planning. Just got to get it all working right. But thank you so much, AJ. D Blanks, hey to you too. Peter, am I bored about being shot by ICE agents now? No, I don't want to get into that, okay? But yeah, it looks, bottom line is, just avoid them. Don't try to protest them and get in their, block their way. Just don't, I mean, you might be in the right, but that doesn't do you any good if some physical harm happens to you. So I personally haven't seen any yet, so just hopefully it'll stay that way. Oh, I just noticed, Uncle, have you been here? I was gonna say Uncle's not here. There's Uncle. Hey Uncle, good. I was gonna say, hey, Uncle's not here. Uncle's right here. We had an instant mental connection there, Uncle. Do I plan to go back to college for more philosophy class? I just kind of have over like the past few years, just for the F of it, just kind of looked at, like what they got. Like, yeah, here, Long Beach State, you can get a master's in philosophy. I guess I can complete what I did in Santa Barbara. But the thing is, hey, I don't know how much of my classes will transfer over. I mean, that was like 3 decades ago, Furthermore, I noticed that college is a hell of a lot more expensive now than when I was last in college in the 90s. Like, I saw that, like, like University of California's, like Cal State, like say Cal State Long Beach, they cost like what UC's, University of California's cost back then. And community colleges now cost it like what like tuition and everything would cost you at a state university. So it's crazy now. It's like, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't think I was thinking about taking some other classes, actually, some other areas, but I don't know, just to take a groovy little class at a local community college. That could set you back around up to maybe like $200, depending, at least $100. So I gotta think about it. I'm saying just for one class, not like a semester of a whole like loaded, bunch of classes. Just like one cool thing you want to like maybe like check out. So I gotta think about it, But no, probably not. I don't think I'm gonna go back and complete my education in philosophy. I don't need it really. Wait, Angie wants me to remind you that there's a new single and music video out next Friday from us. Unfortunately, I've noticed ever since I had some issue with my main audio interface a couple weeks ago, I'm having issues getting audio sent to this, like, playing audio. If I want to like play audio off a video or hit the fart sounds and stuff like that. Are you hearing that right now? Let me know if you guys are hearing the fart sounds and stuff. Let me know. I think we might go over. I just can't hear them. Let me know if you can hear them. I guess I could play a music video. I just won't be able to hear it, but I already know what it sounds. Let me know if you heard any of these fart sounds, though. Like the bell and stuff like that. I'm going to leave your words on this board for all my classes to enjoy. Giving you full credit, of course. You heard it? Oh, okay. Weird. All right, so it routes to my Streamlabs software, but it doesn't route to my speakers in any way. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I guess I just have to really memorize what sounds are where. Okay, so I guess I can show you our new song, our video for next week. So, Dr. Bear? Dr. Bear, is that you, Dr. Bear? Holy crap, Dr. Bear. I saw someone mention Dr. Bear. Hello, Dr. Bear. Good to see you. What are you doing? Are you still volunteering at the animal rescue? Is that what it was? A shelter or rescue? Yeah, awesome to see you, Dr. Bear. Surprise. Okay, so talking about the expensiveness of college. So for you, late model, one class was 2 to 3 thousand. Just one class, 2 to 3 thousand bucks at your college, like several decades ago. So that's got to be a private school, right? I mean, that sounds on par. Imagine now that would be like probably at least double, more likely triple that. So it's probably even way worse. So yeah, I'm just not sure if I want to take like I was like maybe 10 years ago or so. I was thinking about taking this course about the geology of California, particularly like how mountains and seafloors and all that are formed. Because I'm really interested in the geology. Like when we go camping, like Catalina, or when we go hiking, like say, Palos Verdes, you see all the rocks. So I just really into that. I just wanted to learn more about that from a geologist. But I'm looking at the prices, like, holy moly, it cost me like about $200 to take this one class, because you have to pay for other stuff too. Like no matter if you take one class or like five, you still have to pay the same. Parking is the same. They're like, I forgot what other little fees, like maybe their health thing there, whatever. It adds up. So it actually is a deal if you're taking a bunch of classes. But if you're just like me and interested to take one thing, you're still paying all those baseline fees that everyone else has to pay. So I don't know. I'm not sure if it's really worth it or not. I don't know. I'll figure it out. No bigs. Okay, Dr. Barry, yeah, full-time at the animal shelter now. Love it. You're much happier than teaching, but you still, I was going to ask, so you still teach part-time. Interesting. So are you teaching at the same institution that you were at before, just in a part-time way, or did you go to somewhere else? Because it sounds like you really liked teaching, despite some of the problems of teaching. I know you didn't like some of the like higher ups, their stance towards AI and stuff like that. But that's cool. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, you're doing it right. Figured out what you like, and if you could just like do less of what you're not feeling, so that's great. Well, that's cool, Nikki. Your local technical college gave free tuition to anyone that was a resident for 2 years. Wow, that would be a lot of free tuition out here. Wow, that's awesome. That's socialism. That's horrible, right? Just kidding. I think that's perfect. I mean, yeah. Wow, Peter, there's socialism. You can actually take lots of classes at your community college for completely free. That, I guess the flip side of that means there's some classes that you can't take for free, right? I guess there's a certain like bucket of classes, like these are the ones you could take for free, even though that's totally awesome. And I agree 100%, AJ. I don't know if someone wants to call me a socialist or a liberal or someone in the center, which I think I'm in. But yeah, I don't see why college and healthcare are these for-profit enterprises that we have to like pay hardcore for. But anyway, not to get political, I just think that just makes sense. That's like, why should you go broke because you got sick? Let's see. What's that thunder clapping? We just had a huge power outage, and here he was thinking, good, you learned how to survive on the ether like all the other regular folks would be having a pretty tough time. I'm sure we're talking about there. Okay, so Dr. Bear, so you're teaching part-time at the same school. Yes, your college admins love AI and are very hostile, trying to increase your class sizes by 50% and have mandatory overloads for full-time faculty. You're done. So yeah, you saw the writing on the wall. Just all that writing that you just wrote there is just bad. Everything about that's bad. More AI, overloading classes, mandatory full-time. Well, then go part-time, right? And spend your time full-time somewhere else where you don't feel that oppression and just kind of, I don't want to call it insanity, but yeah, it sounds pretty nuts there. Want to overload the classes, and AI is going to teach the kids in the future. Wow, late model, you don't believe in free college. You're probably the one that believes that. I mean, yeah, I don't see it right. I mean, private schools. I'm not saying private schools should be free or anything like that, but state-run, government funded schools. We have plenty of tax base here. Just not everyone is paying the fair share of taxes. I'm not going to say who or what kind of people I'm talking about, but yeah, if we just paid like what I pay, the percentage that I pay, if everyone of all income, higher than me paid that too, we'd have plenty of money for things like, people be able to go to school. But yeah, I don't think like private institutions like say Art Center College of Design in Pasadena or Harvard or stuff like that ought to be free. They're private institutions, So I agree with you on that one 100%. But I don't see why public schools need to cost like what private schools cost back when I was going to school. I mean, I think there's plenty to go around. It just needs to be allocated slightly differently. Carmichael, I did not see your question. Let me see if I can catch your question again there. Let me scroll a tiny bit more and see if I can find it. Ryan, I have a question about one of our music videos. Yeah, go for it. You can ask about one of our music videos. And I'll show you our new music video next week when it comes out for our song Gray. I believe Angie said she released a teaser for it on some of our social media platforms. So if you're following us on social media, our band, our music, check it out. Anyway, yeah, she finished editing the video yesterday. Uncle, you thought government was supposed to enable its citizens to achieve? That might have been true when you were a kid, and maybe when I was a kid too, and maybe that was a part of their goals or something like that. Sounds like no, now not so much, really. It doesn't seem like that's a concern anymore. If it is, it's super low. Fulmar Music, you wish you was in learning all the time, but they just want drones? I'm not sure if I understand what that sentence means. Fu Manpu, you need to go to the El Baño right now, it sounds like. Late model, use your degree every day even though you're not a practicing shrink. That's how I kind of feel too about my philosophy education. I'm not working as a philosopher, but the how many years, 3 or 4 years I studied philosophy shaped my brain, and I don't have all the every last fact in detail from the all the philosophers and all the stuff I read and learned back then intact, but what remains still is like kind of the critical thinking skills that were that are essential for philosophy. So that's yeah, I can't imagine how I'd be right now if I never studied all that stuff for all those years. So yeah, I can relate to that. Okay, Carmichael, where was that footage for our video? Yeah, it was I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. It's a Hawaiian word. Yeah, it was a video we put together for an instrumental from the Love Spirals Downwards Flux remaster from a few years ago. Yeah, it was from our trip to Maui for Angie's 50th birthday. I think that was 2017 or 18, right in there. Yeah, it was from our trip to Maui. Yeah, it's the plane ride, and I think some other shots from around there too, but that's it, yeah. Yeah, I understood what you meant, late model, that you have a psych degree, but you're not a practicing shrink. Use the info in the world at large. Clear now? That's what I didn't realize you had a psych degree, because right before I switched to philosophy, I was majoring in, and I think I had it for a year. I forgot if it was like 2 semesters or 3. Experimental psychology. That sounds really crazy, like you're sewing things in half. No, it really is what the word sounds like. You're learning research methods, like how experiments work. I even did an experiment and wrote up the abstract, the methods, the results, the paper, So yeah, I was doing that. Learned how to do. That's why I feel a little comfy when I look at some of the studies and when I review some of the science science on this channel. This is not to say I'm a scientist. I didn't get a degree in it, but I did actually have some university training in experiments and research. So I have a little leg to stand on there, a tiny one, more than most people do when they just cite studies and cherry pick. I mean, how many people really that cite studies on vegan YouTube can actually pull out a study that they actually made? It didn't get published or anything like that, but I did make a study. I even remember the title to this very day: The Effects of Music on Stress and Relaxation. That's the title verbatim, and it's exactly what you think it was. We had two groups, the experimental group, the control group. One group, we played them, I think, really chill 90s music, like Harold Budd, Brian Eno, just chill stuff from like The Pearl or Plateau of Mirror. The other group, I forgot what it was. I think we played them some heavy metal or something like that. I really don't remember what it was, but something completely opposite. And afterwards, the participants, which were students in my class, they filled out a short, I think a 5-question survey. Like there was just questions there that were just to throw them off completely, so they wouldn't know what we were testing, which is a good tactic or strategy in study design. Anyway, with some questions like, what did the music make you think of? Like, I didn't give a shit about that, but the questions were really wondering, like, did this music rate your stress? Did this music like increase or how did it affect your stress? How did it affect your relaxation? So we were just looking at those two questions. We compared the results from the two groups, and we found that the chill ambient music makes people felt more relaxed and less stressed, and there was a statistically significant difference between the two groups, the control group and the experimental group. So yeah, I did science. Anyway, I'm a duck. What's going on? Are you fighting with late model? I don't know, what is this hell are you talking about? You wouldn't be sarcastic if you were on a soccer field with a severed artery. I don't even know what the context is. Someone tell me, is this fighting or is this like some friendly banter? Because if it's the former, just stop it immediately. I have no idea what the hell that means. Let's see. Sam. Hey, Samuel, you became a musician in 2 hours and created 2 music albums a month. Place them on iTunes. Let's see. How do you become a musician in 2 hours? Are you using like AI, like Suno? That doesn't make you a musician or anything like that. Just typing in commands and outputs are sounds. But anyway, let me see what is going on. You're not fighting, okay. Let's see, is late model cool? Yeah, late model asks what's happening. But anyway, if there's any disagreement of some kind going on right now between you guys, I'm not saying there is or isn't. Just stop it, because we're here to listen to what the hell I'm talking about. So don't fight. I'm an egomaniac. Listen to my nonsense. Let's see. Salma, use GarageBand. Awesome. Yeah, great software. I wish that came free with every Mac in the 90s. I would have made better music if that existed back then. Anyway, let's see. Okay, about that music video of ours that you're asking about. That video was really cool. You took a plane ride from the smallest island to Maui. Remember it was only about 15 minutes. That's the way you get around the islands there. Yeah, you take planes. In fact, we just flew nonstop from LAX, Los Angeles to Maui, just because we could. We knew that's where we're going. We didn't go to any other island. Just went straight to Maui. Spent all our time in Maui, then came back home. Oh, you learned GarageBand in 2 hours. You probably didn't learn every feature, but it's pretty easy to learn. That's the whole point of GarageBand. They make it really easy to be able to record audio, to edit audio, to record MIDI, to edit MIDI, to even have some of their automated musicians, if you will. They're session players, I think they're called. They have a session player for keyboards, bass, and horns. Is it? I know they have the horns in Logic, but yeah, it's pretty easy to get started in GarageBand. That's awesome. Yeah, make love, not war. Awesome. Let's say, hey, BZ Vegan, you're sorry to say you have a bio psych degree and you've done animal research on guinea pig brains. Now you're vegan for life. Hey, sorry to hear that, but I'm glad you're vegan for life. And I'm not going to hold you. Hopefully you don't feel guilty about what you had to do in your education. Yeah. Uncle, wow, you know about Susha Lowenthal, one of our old city council members from my district here. She moved to your area. Now she's going elsewhere. Wow, she's like a career politician. Wow. Okay, there's no fight late model. I have no idea what's going on. So anyway, you're not aware of any fight. All I did was tell that person that they seem to be in a cool profession. That was it. So I don't know what's going on. I apologize, but yeah, I don't want to see you fighting. I'm not accusing anyone of fighting, but it's not the place to come and fight. It's a place we come and chill out and relax. So I'm a duck. Do you have any questions for me rather than for late model? Because this is I'm an egomaniac. Okay, let's just assume I'm an egomaniac. I want the attention on me, not on late model. So do you have any questions for me? I'm a duck. Feel free to ask anything you want to ask of me. But yeah, right now I'm politely requesting that just back off on not back off, just refrain from interacting further with late model, at least for the time being. I'm not banning all interaction with her for all of eternity. I'm just saying right now, I want the focus from you onto me right now. I'm a duck rather than to late model. Is that cool? So if you have a question, go. Let's hear it. Hey, Vujita, haven't seen you in a bit. Yeah, it's been all right. It's been kind of up and down. That's kind of the story of my life lately anyway. And see, late model, say you've been accused of being sarcastic when none was just out at all. They're misunderstanding. Yeah, I guess everyone expresses themselves with sarcasm to certain degrees. But yeah, I wouldn't characterize late model as being a very sarcastic person. Cool. Well, Judy, you've been leveling up your veganism. Wow, I wonder what level you got up to. You acquired 5 pounds of soybeans, and tomorrow you'll be making homemade tofu. Wow, that does level you up. You're vegan. Yeah, you're probably at least level 12 now. Yeah, AJ, good point. I think we're all a bit touchy after this week. I'm totally with you. Okay, cool. I'm a duck. I'm glad we're all cool. Again, I wasn't trying to scold you or anything like that. I just was when I see. Here's the thing. I've just seen it many times. I'm just talking about you and have a history. I'm just saying in general. I see a lot of interaction going on in the comments between two people, and I can't tell for certain if it's a good interaction or a bad one. I just kind of step in and just say, let's just stop it. So it's just kind of something I've been doing over the years. So yeah, if you have a question for me, and sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I should have just not said anything, but I have to make the judgment call. I'm the guy running the show right now. Did I take my B13 today? No, but I did take my B12 today. A carnivore farm mom? Are you QQQ? Are you asking me a question? Am I still running? I know this may sound funny, but years ago I made a video saying to only run at a slower, comfortable pace for the bulk of your running. Yeah, I mean, I still stand behind that. I mean, you shouldn't be putting yourself into zone 4 and 5 for the bulk of your training. In fact, yeah, I'm glad you tuned in because, yeah, last Friday, I spend more time playing basketball now than running by far. Anyway, my last basketball session, I showed it all. I showed the stats from my Apple Health app and everything, or fitness app. But anyway, my point is, I was going nuts. I was redlining last week. I spent 41 minutes in zone 5 and a pretty considerable amount of time in zone 4. I forgot how many minutes now, maybe 20 or something like that. I mean, that is hardcore considering I was ill for a lot of December and November. So my fitness is off. I haven't been exercising as much as I want to because I can't. I've been ill and recovering. So I was in the red hardcore last week. Today on the basketball court, I was there an hour and 5 minutes. Let me just pull it up here instead of just describing it. Here is my workout. It's hard to get it all in focus here. I'm going to try my damnedest. So here's my basketball workout, hour and 5 minutes, 486 active calories, and my heart rates. Try to get it here, but hopefully it's in focus. But yeah, 22 minutes in zone 2, 41 minutes in zone 1, and only 2 minutes in zone 3. Zero time at all in zones 4 and 5. So yeah, I mean, this is what you got to do if you want to burn yourself out and, like, get injured, catch a cold because your immune system's going to be all inflamed. Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, zone 2 is a great place to train. It builds up your cardiovascular fitness, builds mitochondria, teaches your body to consume fat as fuel rather than just relying purely on glucose. There's many advantages of training at lower heart rates, but I've never suggested, I don't think, that that's all you should do. I think years ago, if you're talking about an old video, perhaps I was commenting that I kind of had the impression watching other runners that they spend way more time in these harder, like higher zones, like high heart rate zones, like zone 3, 4, and 5, when they're just getting burnt out, not really getting that much better. And you need to build the cardiovascular zone 2 base in order to support those higher efforts. I mean, your heart rates will still be high at those harder efforts, but they won't be quite as high because your zone 2 base is that much stronger. So yeah, I still believe that with basketball. I still, like today, did a zone 2 workout for basketball. So when I have a high intensity day, maybe next week, I'll be that much fitter. My last week, my max heart rate was 173. I'm 58 and a half years old. My max heart rate is 173. That's pretty crazy. And that's pretty, it just shows you how I'm fit and strong for an old dude. Not saying I'm, again, elite athlete, Olympic level, nothing like that, but just for some dude, it's not like, some famous athlete or fitness dude. I'm just some old music producer. It's not too shabby. Anyway, enough me yapping about my fitness, but I can talk about that stuff a lot. Anyway, hopefully I answered your question there, Carnivore Mom. I think that's who asked. Anyway, what else? Wow, I see theories of gravity. What's going on? Carnivore Mom, yeah, 58, right? 58 and a half. I'm going to be 59 like this summer, Let's see if I can just quickly pull up Fridays. Let's see if I have that one handy here. Let's see. I'm not nerdy enough to navigate around the Apple Fitness app like super quick and find old workouts. But at least I showed you the one from today. But yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're 20, you could probably do a bunch of your workouts at high efforts like that, like zone 4 and stuff like that. You can recover way quicker. But not that kind of age anymore. Anyway, let's see what else. Oh, Duck, did you have your question for me? I apologize because I asked you to ask me a question and I probably didn't see it. So if I'm going to scroll up and I'll try to see if you asked it. I am not seeing it. And Carl, no, I didn't read anything about recent paper that tries to reconcile things like dark matter by arguing that gravity is not local, meaning it's not like distributed uniformly throughout the universe or something like that. I don't know. I mean, we don't know what dark matter is exactly yet, right? So who knows? I'll let the smart people figure that one out. Luciano, I assume everyone to be not a troll unless proven otherwise. And Carnivore Mom asked like a sincere question and gave a sincere answer, so I have no reason to suspect that at this point. Anyway, Carmichael, have you ever walked through snow before? Yes, intentionally, like in Southern California, sometimes people drive up to the local mountains in the wintertime to have fun in the snow, and I've done that a few times. So I actually have touched snow, thrown snowballs, walked on snow, I don't know, maybe a dozen times or so in my life. Haven't done so, I think, since 1999 or 2000. It's been a while. So yeah, this is something I did more when I was younger. So no, I don't like driving up to places like that where it's snowing. It kind of trips me out. Carnivore Mom, always been a slow runner, but you still dream of being able to run fast. I don't know. If you do a lot of slow running, you probably might be able to run faster than you think. Um, I'm not a trainer or anything like that, but if you have a good like base, if you're like running slow, if you have a good like zone 2 kind of base, if you did some like interval training, just look that up. That'll get your speed up. Just now, since you have that that strong foundation, your heart just needs to be able to adapt to like more lactic acid, handling that, flushing it out. If you did some interval training, I don't really tell you what kind of intervals or like how long, what kind of effort, but just look it up. Just do some interval training. That'll help you out a lot. One kind of fun interval training I used to enjoy a lot running, and it helped me when I was learning to slam dunk in my early 50s, was hill sprints. That's a sort of interval. You just run up a hill to a certain point, walk back down, recover on the way down, repeat it a few times. That's an awesome interval train right there. So just got to get some mix in some harder, higher effort runs or workouts with your strong foundation. That'll build your speed. You're just not going to get speed without trying. You actually have to do some extra work to build the whatever you need to build to get the endurance with that speed. Anyway, no, I haven't experienced the bitter, harsh cold of the Northwest though. It's really not as harsh as like the like Midwest though, like Chicago. I've been to Chicago in the winter time, like December, January. Yeah, I probably experienced some snow there actually, but that would have been before '99 as well. That would have been like '95 or '6 or something like that. Something like that. But yeah, I had some. It wasn't like a snowy time when I was there. It was just cold and wintry. Typical non-horrible Chicago in the winter. AJ, you're sick of snow. I don't blame you. I don't think I can handle like living like it's just for me because I'm a Southern California dude. I'm not used to it, so I wouldn't want to live somewhere snowy. I guess a lot of you guys grew up or used to like conditions like that, and for you it's no big deal. For me, it's like this is like being on Mars. Like what is occurring here? Anyway, what's that, Mujita? Your physical trainer brain wants to say to increase your leg strength and coordination as well as your focus on cardio. Yeah, that kind of happens too, especially with hill sprints. I kind of see that as some kind of like, you're not only you're working on like high intensity, just the muscles engaging your glutes and hamstrings to like power up a hill. That's increasing leg strength. But yeah, I can work on it more directly with resistance training too. But yeah, all sorts of ways to get faster. Yeah, I'm not dismissing weights, but yeah, weights can be part of it for sure. Peter, is Gavin Newsom running for president? He has never made an official announcement, but it's pretty much all but assumed that he shall. Carmichael, Ryan, visit New England in a snowstorm? No. Not going to happen. Okay, Carmore Farm Mom, you don't mean to be offensive with your name there. Okay, you've been watching a lot of old channels you used to follow, aka like Duran Rider and stuff. You've gone plant-based, raw, and starch-based, but fell off because... I wonder why you fell off. I'm still doing it. I'm still doing pretty fine. Went vegan in 2010. Here we are, 2026, and still doing decently well, with my health and my labs. Getting my labs next week. We'll see how that comes out. Anyway, see, Luciano, there you go. You can get up your flight of stairs in about 2 seconds because you know how to run efficiently. Awesome. Okay, so you fell off because you didn't drop weight like you had hoped for after 70 miles a week running, and you eventually floated back to a sad diet. Experimenting with the other extreme, you found yourself watching. That's unfortunate that you didn't lose weight, but yeah, remember, I know Duran Rider and them. I don't know what he's like now, but I was gonna say, they promoted eating vegan or plant-based as a tool to get a thigh gap, to get lean. That was his phrase, getting lean, getting slim and all that. And that's not what veganism is. It's a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. meaning you don't have to eat in a way that's going to necessarily get you skinny. You can eat junk food vegan and get big if you want. It's, you know, it's your choice, but you're doing it for animals. But that being said, there, you know, are plenty of ways to eat healthily as a vegan, and there are plenty of ways to eat in a way that you lose weight, but it's not really a weight loss diet, you know, unless you find a specialty way of doing it, like what Duran Ryder and Freely were doing back then. Like I said, I don't know what they're talking about now. For all I know, they don't talk about that. I just remember what things were like in 2016, let's say, you know, vegan means being skinny and stuff like that. Which is not true whatsoever. So yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that veganism gets conflated often as being a diet, like a weight loss diet. It is not. It's just a way of eating that doesn't involve consuming animal products. But there's nothing stopping a vegan from constructing their diet, combining it with training that produces the results you want. If you want to be big and giant like football, NFL player, you can do that. If you want to be a basketball player and you got the skills and training, you can do that. If you want to be a skinny runner or cyclist, you can do that. A vegan diet's not going to hold you back. It's not going to be the limiting factor. There could be other things that limit you. Your genetics are huge. Your training. Sometimes you can do all the right training and not get the same gains that your friend who's doing the exact same training and the same size you's doing. None of it's fair, you know, just how it works out. So I wouldn't blame the diet per se, a vegan diet, for not getting you the weight loss after running 70 miles a week. That's a lot of running. Wow, that's a lot. So this is really complicated, beyond my pay grade. I'm a music producer, you know, I'm not a doctor or whatever, sports dietitian or something like that. I know it's really, really complicated. But anyway, Fujita says, I've eaten all kinds of ways while still vegan. You range from 135 to 184 pounds, all while vegan. Yeah, me too. I mean, when I first went vegan, I was probably about 10 pounds. When I was doing all the crazy banana stuff, I was like 175 or 73, something like that. And now I'm a little under 200, probably about 197 to 199 pounds, something like that. And that's a great weight for me, actually. That's like a really, really good weight. Being 6'5", basically, a little under 200 pounds, you know, it puts me at a body mass index of like 23 something. It's perfect. You know, I'm not too big. I'm not too light. So when I play basketball, I got size. You know, I got some strength. You can't knock me around that easily. Yet I'm still light enough to chase these like 18-year-olds and 28-year-olds and defend them as they think they can blow right past me because I'm this big old dude, but they don't know I have light, quick feet. So I'm very pleased with my body weight and size and all that right now. I'm not trying to change it all that much, to be honest with you, other than internally, like getting some of my fitness back that I lost from my illness. What's that late model? You have the muscle memory from doing centuries on the bike from ages 9 to 15. Wow, I used to ride 100-mile rides when you're that young. That's crazy. Wow. There's the carnivore mom. You do have heart pulls about animals. You've raised a lot of animals but could not eat them. It's easy to hide when you got to go to the store. It's not a living free creature in your face at that point. That's a really good point. Yeah, a lot of people have this cognitive dissonance. Yeah, meat eating people have a cognitive dissonance between, like, you know, most people like animals. Let's face it, unless you're a complete sociopath or something like that, most people have compassion for animals. Yet they're able to switch that off when it comes to like, oh, well, I'm going to eat this animal, even though if I had met it in person, I probably would have thought it was cute and stuff, but I'm going to eat it. You know, it's just like, you know, yeah, I understand. That's a very normal. I'm not trying to normalize it. It's a very normal reaction that most meat eaters have. Most meat eaters do like animals, yet they don't find that they should build upon that compassion for animals by like extending that to not consuming animals. I get it. Carmichael, you about the same weight? Are you around my height too? Oh, I'm sorry, Bill. You have bronchitis? Oh, man, that sucks. Yeah, I haven't had bronchitis in a long time. I think the last time I had it was when Angie and I first met. We first started dating. I spent my first New Year's Eve with her having bronchitis. It sucked. Oh, on the back of a tandem with your dad. Wow, you rode 100 miles on a tandem bike? that I've never even heard of that. That's crazy good. Wow. What's that, Amaduck? You love experienced older dudes showing young guys what's up. I wish Andrew Tate would have won that fight before Christmas, but sadly he lost to that young guy, Chase. Andrew Tate? He was in a fight, though, that bald dude that smokes cigars, that abuses women, that went to Romanian prison? I didn't hear about that. I heard about that other guy, Jake Paul or something like that, in a fight. But anyway, late model. It feels amazing to feel your own strength. Training for your old lady body. Awesome. What's that, Amaduck? Is Ryan's mouth off from the sound, or is that just your phone? Let me know. I told you I can't hear myself now. Some new tweak from my software here, but my levels are good. Let people let them know, if him or her know, if my audio, my microphone audio is off right now. What's that, Heidi? You stayed the same size going vegan as before, but you did notice your face was less puffy when you cut out dairy. Yeah, I've seen that happen to people. Okay, Tate, he really did get in a fight. Cool, I'm glad that guy got his ass kicked. He seemed like such an asshole. Seems like such an asshole. Yes, Tate, he was beat up bad, and then he gave lame excuses. How about he didn't train hard enough, or the other guy was more talented or stronger than him, rather than lame excuses? That shows you what an asshole he is. He couldn't admit defeat with grace. He had to make up excuses. I mean, if I lose a basketball game, it's usually because the guy played better than me. I'm not going to make up excuses. I might say, well, I was still, recovering from an illness. You throw that one out there. But still, if I go out and compete with someone, no matter what, if I lose, I lose. It was, I didn't have to compete if I thought I couldn't handle it. Anyway, so Jake Paul had a fight the same weekend as Tate. Well, I'm glad both those guys got beat up at the same time. Not that I dislike Jake Paul that much. I just dislike him a little bit. But Andrew Tate, yeah, very strongly disliked. So if he got his ass whooped and he complained about it later on, shows you how, these guys are precious snowflakes. They're alpha males and life's great. And then when they get beat up in a fight that they consented to be in, and they can't admit defeat with grace and have to gaslight, and because they're precious snowflakes, so that's funny. I like to see alpha males acting like little precious snowflakes. Want to be alpha males. I know that's his image. Like, you pay him lots of money, you go to his online academy where he teaches you how to be an alpha male and be mean to women. Just pay him a lot of money. He'll teach you young guys how to do that. What a great, awesome human being, right? Anyway, AJ, you had black beans and rice for dinner. Wow, that sounds really good. Yeah, we need to have one more meal tonight. Maybe let's make something really simple like that, AJ. That sounds like pretty chill. Just heat up some rice in the pressure cooker and put some beans on the stove. Super chill. And I think I have some tortillas too I got to throw in there. That's a good idea. I might do that. Let's see. Anyway, let's see. Carnivore Mom, commercial dairy farming is no better than commercial meat. Yeah, it's the same industry. It's the same meat producers, basically. Dairy was the hardest thing to give up when you grew up as a vegetarian. Well, just come back to plant-based. If if you weren't getting the gains that you wanted, or the weight loss gains, if that's what you're looking for on any of these diets, might as well just do the one that's not, the one that doesn't support animal cruelty and exploitation. As I'm saying, if neither of them are making you get to the weight that you wanted, might as well do the one that's the not killing or exploiting animals in the process. Yeah, totally, late model. I'll send you the Tuscan kale peel-off recipe for sure. Yeah, I'll remind me if I forget. I will definitely send it to you. I'm gonna be busy for the next day or so. So the best time for me to do it is immediately. But and I would do it if I could. So I might forget by Sunday. And I want to thank you, Dr. Bear. Thanks for being a member. You said it about Andrew Tate. Appreciate you speaking up against misogyny. You know me, I speak up against bigots and bigotry, any kind of ism that it degrades people or sees those people as lesser or even non-human. I'm 100% against it. And I see guys like Andrew Tate, that's like their brand, and that's just immoral. Let's see. Let's see. So Carl says, from AI, that Tate cited extreme tiredness, attributed it to ring rust after a long break, his age, Demore's heavy leaning, and saying a higher power influenced the outcome. Higher power? He's saying divine intervention. He couldn't say it was just him being tired. Why was he tired? Who is his trainer? His trainer should be fired if his trainer put him in a match at a point where the training had exhausted him to the point he couldn't fight effectively. He has himself to blame for that, and his trainer. That's not an excuse. You had control. Some things in life we have control over, and that's something he had 100% complete control over. So you cannot use that as an excuse. What a lame ass excuse. And a higher power. He really said that. Divine intervention. Like, despite being extremely fatigued and tired, Tate lost because God came down from heaven and did some crap and manipulated the match so that his opponent would win. I mean, come on. Oh my God. Just admit defeat rather than all these lame excuses and saying God came down and made your opponent win. I mean, that's just insane. What's wrong with these people? Vegeta says, the funny part is Tate has always been a bad fighter. If you watch his fights from his young days, his technique was terrible against jabbers? Is that what you're saying? Let's see. Let's see, Fulmar Music, you gifted some memberships. Hell yeah, let's see what happened here. Oh, hey, Tadado got one. Okay, you got one membership. Awesome. Thanks for donating there, Fulmar. Awesome. So nice of you. Thanks for doing. I love when people donate Happy Fan memberships. You guys are awesome. Luciano, harming an immoral person does not strip them of their immorality, though. I'm not sure if I wrap my head around that at this moment in my tiredness, but yeah, you shouldn't harm a person on the basis of them being immoral. That's not a justification to harm a person. I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but that's my take away from that. Carver Mom, have you heard of Steak and Butter Gal? Yeah, I responded to her amongst several other people. I think it was some kind of jubilee, where they get a bunch of people and ask questions, something like that. They had some vegans, they had some carnivores, and I forgot what the other group was. But anyway, that's the only time I've directly responded to her. And I remember what she said on that one particular time was totally so outrageous. It was complete just misinformation. It was so untrue. I forgot what the points were. I just remember laughing. This is what this lady's about. This is nonsense misinformation. Maybe she speaks more cogently in other contexts, but that one was it was bad. I've been looking for videos on people that go from carnivore to vegan, but all I find are people that went from vegan to carnivore, because that's more trendy right now. I know I'm not accusing her, but a lot of people follow trends. And yeah, vegan isn't as trendy right now, say as compared to the Durian Rider Freely days or something like that. That was like the big viewed times for vegan and plant-based YouTube. And I know some creators say, I want to be an influencer for my job, so I'm just going to go where the views are. Some people do that. Okay, what is going on here? VLAM, is it time to pull out the definition of veganism? Who do I need to talk to? Who needs to see the definition of veganism? We'll get in there. I'm a duck. Ryan says, I could talk about the Tate fight all night, but I have to know if you've had vegetable galaba Mediterranean. It's your favorite food. No, sounds dish. I like Mediterranean stuff. That's cool. I kind of like a Mediterranean diet in general. Yeah, a vegan version of it, which isn't that hard. There's so many great plants and Mediterranean diets. Just remove all the meat and cheese. But yeah, sounds good. You like that, Dr. Bear? Divine intervention. That's why he lost. God came down from heaven, and God has an interest in Andrew Tate's fight. Andrew Tate is such an important person that God had to come down from heaven and intervene because he couldn't let Andrew Tate win. Wow. Did he really say that? That's what the AI said, but I wonder if Tate really said that, because that's just outrageous. It's hard to believe that he would say something so stupid, but it kind of goes with his brand a little bit. So anyway, but I'm not saying this is verified. I'm just saying, to me, it makes sense. It's consistent with my picture, my image of how he comports himself. Snippy, vegan food tastes like crap for the most part. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean by vegan food? Do you eat, like, say, fruits? Do you eat potatoes, with gravy? Like at Thanksgiving or Christmas, did you eat cranberries and potatoes and stuff like that? What is vegan food? You eat bread? Do you eat beans? Do you eat rice? What is this vegan food that tastes like crap? Because all those foods I mentioned there taste like crap. So I don't know what you've been eating as vegan food. Maybe you're eating some crappy vegan food. Yeah, some vegan food tastes like crap, A lot of your non-vegan food tastes like crap too. But the stuff I eat tastes pretty damn good. But I like to know, what is this vegan food that tastes like crap? What is vegan food exactly? I eat plants. Vegan food. It sounds like we have to go to a special corner of the supermarket and buy this specially packaged vegan food, or else we're gonna die or something. Nikki, any idea why monthly membership costs went up? We didn't raise them. Are you serious? If so, it's just pure corporate greed. We didn't change. We haven't gone in and changed our monthly membership costs. It must have gone up for everyone. Have you noticed that? Anyone here a member for other channels as well? Because we haven't touched our membership prices since we launched it, 3.5, 4 years ago or whatever. So no, I have no idea. I just assume corporate greed, right? Got to keep the Wall Street investors happy. Vegan anthem. Yeah, that's exploitation. Yeah, treating someone as a means to an end, not an end to themselves. And that's why I brought up agency, like Immanuel Kant, deontology, that, animals are agents, and agents are to not to be treated as a means to an end. Agents are ends in themselves. People, animals, treat them as ends in themselves, not a means to an end. They're just a means for me to have a burger for dinner. Bill Cook, you have carnivore. Do you have a question for me, Bill Cook? It seems like you're pissing some people off in the comments, perhaps. I'm not sure if I'm reading the room right. Do you have a question for me rather than trying to annoy people, my viewers here? Do you have a question for the vegan cult leader here? I'll be happy to answer it if you ask a decent question. So let's see what you got, Bill. Okay, so I'm a Duck says that Tate said, regarding his fight, perhaps God had other plans. Perhaps the world will be a better place with Chase winning. I can live with that, or something like that. He seemed proud after the fight. Okay, so I didn't really... Maybe he was being facetious about the divine intervention. I thought he was whining like a baby. Man, God came down from heaven and made me lose. No, he said maybe. Who knows? That's a really strange thing to say after losing, But anyway, we need a better class of troll, AJ. Are there different classes of troll? Okay, they went up $1 or $2 more. What jerks? Are you not you? YouTube. Why? Why do that? It doesn't cost them any money. They just have their guys and gals code some stuff, add memberships to, as a feature that certain channels can have and add. It doesn't cost them any more once they put that in there. They already take 40% of the money from us on those. So wow, what greed. That really pisses me off. Okay, no one's annoying anyone. Late model, that's good. I don't know. It's hard for me to read the room 100% accurate 100% of the time. Sometimes I just go on my hunch based on what I'm seeing, and sometimes my hunches are wrong because I'm an imperfect human and I make errors frequently. Okay, anyway, Fulmar Music says, you sub to a bunch of leftists. I draw short of punish them for not being vegan. Awesome. Good for you. Let's see. So Carmichael's saying that carnivore farm mom this Thanksgiving tried tofurkey roast and I won't get it again. It came out rubbery and unpleasant. Burnt off sticking his Whole Foods. I can't vouch for the tofurkey roast. If I had it, it must have been a long time ago, like, long time ago, like before COVID, a long time ago. I don't know what it's like, but Angie and I made some great food. One of the things we got, we had some coupons. One of our friend works for Impossible Foods, and he gave us like 10 coupons in November that we had to use before the end of the year to get some free Impossible Food. So we got some kind of chicken patty thing. She made gravy and mashed potatoes, and we put it all over. It was delicious. It was fine. That was good. So maybe if the tofurkey roast ain't getting you, but yeah, we've had more whole food based Thanksgivings as well. But this year we just had to use the coupons because we had to, and also I wanted to take advantage of the unique property of Impossible Foods that they have the unique monopoly on plant-based heme iron. And I told you when, as a result of my urinary tract infection last November, when I got a blood lab in early December, I had an iron panel done, and all my iron was within range, except for one thing. Iron saturation was like one interval outside of range. And my doctors didn't think twice about it because everything else was good, and just being one interval outside of range is no big deal. However, I went home, but they didn't have access to them. I had access to my older iron panels, and I had really strong iron saturation before. So yeah, I took a hit from the antibiotics, I was reading about how certain, I don't know what, I'm not a doctor, but somehow the body signals to release less iron from your ferritins, I think, stores because the infections feast off iron, something like that. It takes a while for the iron signals to say, hey, okay, we can release more iron back. So anyway, I was glad to get some heme iron, some plant-based heme iron in my system. From all these Impossible Foods. It's like a little cheat code, if you need to get some of that quick iron into your system from heme. I still, I'm eating all my high iron stuff like beans, and I've been supplementing with a ionized liquid iron supplement too. I just want to get that back to where it should be, like pre being sick, Anyway, I got my blood test next week. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, we haven't seen Lakers Bill for maybe, I'd say, he definitely wasn't here last week, and I don't think he was here the last one of 2025 as well. So I hope he's okay. Bill, if you're watching, just drop in, say hello. I know there is a Lakers game today. I'm not sure what time it is, if it started already yet. Let me look at my watch here. Not seeing anything. Maybe it's at home. If so, it'll start at probably 7:30, which is in 15 minutes. Anyway. Cheesy Mouse, you used to love tofurkey, but you don't eat fake meats anymore. No more processed foods for you. Cool. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of processed foods, but sometimes they have their time and place. And to be able to get some heme iron at a time when I really could use some, a little boost of iron, it's been it's been a little cheat code for me, like I said. Anyway, little burp there. What's that, Peter? I haven't seen the YouTube show. Oh, you told me about this last time, I think, with Kevin Smith and his daughter, Harley Quinn. Called Vegan Arbiter, where they try out different foods that people bring to them from restaurants. No, it sounds cool. Is it on YouTube or is it on a streaming channel? Let me know. I'll check that out. Sounds cool. I like seeing people going to eat. The thing I don't like about is watching people going to non-vegan restaurants. I was just watching that show on Apple TV Plus. Knife's Edge. Have you seen that? I'm kind of fascinated by Michelin star restaurants. I only went to one in my entire life. That was back in 2010 in Sonoma County. Anyway, it was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. No, it was Yeah, it was 2010. It was like a few months before I went vegan. We went on our anniversary, which was in August, and I went vegan a little bit after, like October, November. So it was really close to it. So I ate a pretty vegetarian-ish meal that day too, but it was amazing. It was like, anyway, so I've watched the show on Apple TV, Knife's Edge, and it's cool seeing how these guys and gals are getting or keeping or losing their Michelin stars, but I hate watching them cook meat. So if I could see a show where there's not a bunch of meat, that'd be awesome. Thank you, Fulmar Music, for the donation there, to a third donation to usurp Google. Thank you so much. Yeah, Google's not being our friend here, raising the prices for I could see. This is stupid. Like inflation, I get inflation happens, but you don't have to jack the price up of channel memberships. That doesn't have to inflate with inflation. Just leave it. Anyway, they're not going to listen to me. Pig Heart Boys, Sami? No, I never heard of that book in my life. No, so I cannot give you my thoughts about it. Yeah, I'm with you, Heidi. Where are you, Bob? I hope you're doing okay, Bob. Just come in and just say hi to us. That's all we want. Just a hello. Wait, what's going on now? I'm a duck. Are you fighting with AJ? What's going on? I'm a duck. Stop. What is happening? Let me just kind of read what's going on. I told you, if anyone gets harassed, just come do it to me. I'm the one running the live stream. I get paid to do this in theory. So if anyone's gonna get harassed, it should be me, not our longtime chill viewers here. So let me see if I can figure out what is going on here. I'm not seeing it all here. I wish I could just zero out someone's I wish I could just like sort by a person's comments. That would make my life so much easier. But yeah, I'm a duck. Yeah, just talk to me for the rest of today. Can we agree on that? I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not accusing anything. Maybe Uncle timed you out or something like that. So when you come back, assuming you come back, yeah, just chill with me. Oh, Snippy's still here. Snippy's the one that said vegan foods taste like crap. Snippy, if you responded to me, can you do it again, or at least maybe copy and paste it so I can see it again? Remember, I said, like, what are you talking? What are vegan foods exactly? I'm not sure what you mean by vegan foods. I eat plants. I didn't know, like, if I ate, like, if you eat a potato or something, then it's not vegan food. But when I eat it, it's vegan food or something. Like, people love potatoes, vegans, non-vegans. No, I've never heard of that cinnamon bun company before, Peter. I'm kind of like living in a cave a little bit. Okay, Sammy, let's see if I can see your second point of the comment. If animal organs could save the loved one, that's something that requires some deep philosophical thought. So I need to read it before really thinking it through and giving you, here is what I think about this very complicated topic. Okay. Oh, it was featured on Kevin Smith's new show. And where is this show at, Peter? Did you tell me where I can watch this Kevin Smith show at? Like what streaming service or YouTube, or let me know. AJ, you had a great but unhealthy snack yesterday. Dave's Killer Cinnamon Bread with peanut butter and vegan fluff. It has all that stuff on it, or did you put some of the stuff on the Dave's Cinnamon Bread? Because I like his Raisin the Roof toast. I mean, it's not toast, it's bread, but I'll make some toast. And I've been drinking it in the morning now. Instead of having almond milk, I've switched over to one called Ripple. It's got more protein, but it's got all these other cool minerals in it too. I also learned that when I had that higher than normal calcium oxalate crystals, like from like oxalates possibly, I learned the reason why it came flagged on one urine test but not the second one is because it didn't flag on the second one, so it must have gone away. My first urine test, I don't want to get too personal here, but my first urine test I had last month, I couldn't get any urine out. I couldn't pee. I waited, like, I had my breakfast like an hour or two before. I thought I'd pee like really fine after my oatmeal. I didn't. So I had to struggle. I just gave him this ugly, tiny sample of super yellow pee. And of course, it came back. It was really dense and came back with high crystals. My next time I went and peed, it was a beautiful, almost pure white pee, and it didn't get flagged for any crystals. So I guess it went away. I guess the my scare about having too many oxalates was a result of giving that horrible urine sample. So anyway, I'll do another urine test next week. I suspect it was just a one-time fluke, because I had never had that flag come before in my life, but I never produced such ugly urine on a lab ever in my life. So now you guys know. Make sure you give them good urine. If you can't get good urine out, wait, come back, do something. Don't give them crappy urine, because it'll give them some shitty results, basically. Anyway. Daisy Carver Mom says, do I think humans are herbivores, or do you think it's not relevant to do the care for animals? I'm not sure what that means. Do I think it's not relevant, like, to care for animals? I honestly, that's a complex question. I think, it's probably debated in like academia and biology and stuff. I assume. I do know that humans can be herbivores, meaning we can eat a diet of all plants as long as we do it carefully, meaning like don't do something silly like become a fruitarian or raw till 4 or whatever. Eat a well-balanced, non-restrictive diet. Again, this is not my opinion. It's the opinion of health organizations around the world. A balanced, well-planned vegan diet is nutritionally adequate, particularly for non-children. It sounds like for children, you got to be a little bit more careful. That seems to be the new language coming from these health organizations as of the past year or two. So are we herbivores? I don't know. I mean, we can eat plants, like humans can eat meat too and not die immediately or anything like that. The thing is, did I zoom in too quickly? Yeah, I did zoom in. Full screen. I hit the wrong button. Okay, I knew something was off there. The point is, God, I lost my point now. That zoomed in thing kind of freaked me out. What was my point? Shoot, I forgot where I was going with that whole speech there, Carmore Mom. I'm sorry, it probably wasn't that important. Anyway, Luciano, and don't eat before a blood test. They may think you're pre-diabetic until you explain that you forgot to fast. Ooh, that's going to be tough for me. My next blood test is like at 1:50 in the afternoon. Well, at least that's when I'm going to the doctor. I guess I could ask if I could do my blood test on a different day, maybe. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I did not receive a message to show up fasted or anything like that. So we'll see. Yeah, she was asking, are humans herbivores? I don't know. I'm just saying I don't really care if the science says that our biology is adapted to eat meats and plants, which it seems to be. The question is like, what is my morality? Since we can eat either foods and not die immediately and get our nutrition from them and stuff like that. So the question is, what do I want to eat? What kinds of foods are in alignment with my morality? I value animals, and humans. I don't want to eat humans. I don't want to eat animals. I see humans and animals as being sentient agents who have moral worth. They're not a means to an end. They're not a meal for me. They are an end themselves. They have the inherent rights and should be treated as such. So yeah, eating oops, wrong button there. Eating like this, eating a diet that is not supporting animal cruelty and exploitation seems to be the no-brainer, despite whether we're naturally herbivores or omnivorous or whatever. It doesn't matter. As long as I can eat plants, do it in a healthy way, not screw up my health as a result of my moral concerns. If I'm not screwing myself up, I'm going to eat plants. And I'm not screwing myself up, doing quite well. Yeah. Let's see. What's that late model? Yeah, you're doing your physical really soon too. You have a physical later this month, but your MD says we can do blood work next year because it's been so good. Huh? Just tell, if you want to, just tell your doctor, doctor, I'm old now. I'm in my 50s. And furthermore, I'm vegan. And I hear all the time how old people and vegan people their health is wrecked and falling apart. So even though my blood work's been good, I want to make sure I'm doing good. Let's do some this year. Just give some kind of rap like that if you want. It's VLAN points out being an omnivore is simply a description for our ability to derive energy from plants and animals. The word doesn't and shouldn't dictate how we ought to live. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's pretty much a more precise way of my long-winded way of saying, yeah, we can eat plants and get energy from them. We can eat meat and get energy from them. That's all it means. It's like that is not true of eating, like, say, a rock, or something like that. Yeah, just because we can get energy for something doesn't mean we ought to, and we need not consume animals because they're agents and deserving of moral consideration. Whereas we can eat plants. Plants are not sentient. They're not agents. There's no ethical, moral violations from eating a plant. AJ, you haven't had a blood test in years before COVID. You should get one. Remember, you're a little bit older than I am, so you should definitely get one. Not to say like you rush out and get one as soon as you can, but you really should not put it off. And I actually convinced Angie to go in this year too, in a month or so to get her first blood test in ages too. So I'm really practicing what I preach here. Yeah, good point, Dr. Bear. Yeah, yes, what's natural has nothing to do with what's healthy, what's defensible, or moral. Yeah, just because something's natural doesn't make it morally permissible or morally good, something we ought to do. Let's see, Luciano, I think it's sort of like how pandas are anatomically carnivores, yet they eat solely bamboo. Good on pandas. I had no idea how pandas fit into the whole thing about being bears, I mean, they're bears, right? I thought, yeah, bears usually ate more than just plants, so I didn't know how that all worked out. Yeah, it's not even get started about cage-free, huh? AJ, still trying to find a new doctor? How I feel sorry for you. What's the struggle with finding a new doctor for you? Just not a lot in your area, or what's up? Insurance situation? But yeah, Carmichael, I agree with late model. If you haven't had a blood test in forever, it's good to get a baseline. Seriously, you might have regrets sometime. When you do go get a blood test, maybe because you get an illness like I did for a UTI and something's off, you wonder, what is it normally for me? Is this low marker normal for me, or is something really going wrong here? So yeah, you really should get a blood test for many reasons, and that's a really good one, having a baseline. So and it's good to have more than one test as a baseline. You can see trends over time. You kind of know where you ought to be for different markers. You should get a blood test. Oh, Dr. Bear, you got to get going. You need to get going too. You work 10-hour days at the animal shelter now. You're pretty exhausted. Great to see you, Dr. Bear. Please come by anytime you're free, and we love seeing you. We will be joyful every time we see you. Okay, not a lot of doctors taking new patients in the Northeast. Interesting. Huh. Wow, I should be grateful. I had a relatively easy time finding my latest doctors and stuff. It's working out pretty well for me so far. A reason why I picked this organization is that by my gym, I noticed there's in the same parking lot, an urgent care. And I go, okay, I remember their name. And then when I had to pick a new provider, or maybe I wanted to, because I thought my old one just kind of, my old primary physician was just kind of janky. I never saw the doctor. I always got an assistant in their office. And they just seemed like a place you go to where they refer you to someone else. They just don't really take care of your health all that much. Anyway, I found a real medical group. It's like a real place. They have a hospital and everything. Totally happy now. They have the urgent care, which was huge for me when I had the UTI late last year. To having a place I could go to like pretty much any time and figure out what's going on. So yeah, it's been pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, not perfect, and most people talk about how horrible their health providers and health insurance are, but mine's working out really good right now. Knock on wood. Hopefully that'll keep going. What's going on, Blood Rose? Ryan, I love how the safe place looks out for members while engaging with a teaching visitors for newbies. Great work, team. Awesome. Does AJ got to go to? What time is it? That's 7:30. Okay. I've seen where we're at on time here. Are you going? Okay, every doctor you call is not taking new patients, and your old doctor from before COVID won't take you. Wow, what is going on out there? What's happening? I've not seen that happen before. Like, it seems to be, like as Heidi said, to be a trend in your kind of quadrant of the United States. Like, what's happening out there? VLAM, speaking of being healthy, well, vegan, you've had zero pain and symptoms since mid-November. I'm going to ask your doctor if you can be off all your meds in your next appointment in 2 weeks. Wow, good for you, VLAM. That's totally awesome. Let's see, Sam, you have another question for me to try to reason through here? Ryan, let me see if I can wrap my head around it right now. Would it be ethical to buy wool from a farmer, a hypothetical wool farmer that herds sheep exclusively to shear their wool? The farmer does not kill or mistreat the sheep, just shears their wool for health. Well, let's look at the definition of veganism and interpret your question based on the understanding what veganism is. So in your hypothetical situation, you have a wool farmer that herds sheep exclusively to shear the wool. It doesn't kill them or eat them or anything like that. Well, let's see what the definition of veganism is. It's a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. So one can make an argument that it's not cruel to shear wool from a sheep. I'm not going to make that argument, but let's just grant that. Let's say someone makes a really strong argument that that is not animal cruelty. Just for argument's sake. I'm not saying it's like, airtight. Ooh, I see late model gifted some memberships. I'll see who got them in a second. But exploitation, well, that's definitely exploitation. You're taking the wool from the sheep away from them. I mean, there's a reason why they have wool. Like, keep them protected and warm. It's for sheep businesses, sheep purposes. And if you look at the definition of exploitation, let's look it up really quickly here to show you what the point is I'm trying to make. Definition of exploitation: the action or fact of treating someone unfairly in order to benefit from their work. Yeah, you're taking the wool from someone else, in this case, sheep, and you're benefiting from it. You're putting it on your clothes, you're selling it for money. So yeah, there's definitely exploitation in a scenario like that. So that I think, just from looking at the definition of veganism, it seems pretty clear that there's no such thing as an ethical sheep wool farmer. It's just impossible by what the definition of veganism. There's no way to take wool away from a sheep without exploiting them. Just like there's no ethical way to take honey from a bee without exploiting it. It's honey's for bee purposes. They produce it biologically for bee business. Sheep are producing their wool for their own personal and sheep business, and to take it from them is inherently exploitative. So that's my take on that. What do you think? And let's see, what I saw that late model just gifted a bunch of memberships. Let's see who got them. Let me scroll down here. Let's see. Did you not do that, late model? I thought I saw that. Let's see. Here it is. Here they are. So Vegan Vibes got one. And Trini. Hey, Trini. I haven't seen you all night. And D Blanks and Karina and Charlotte 4C. So awesome. Say hello if you want to. Congratulations and welcome to our latest channel members. Gifted by Late Model. So thanks so much, Sarah, for doing that. That's really kind and awesome of you. So you guys are going to be members for a month here. So man, Angie and I need to step it up to show you what a value it is to be a member, a channel member. It's pretty chill. We don't really do all that much. We're not the greatest as far as like, having special things, but we try our best. We try to produce a little bit of extra content. I'm a duck. What do you make clothing from? What do you mean? Like cotton and stuff like that, or canvas? I don't know. Not wool. If I have any wool, it'd be from something I bought before I was vegan. Yeah, I really should do a members live stream soon, Fallon Marie. You're absolutely right to remind me about that. Okay, so Vegan Anthem's going to follow up here. We have one of two choices. Veganism, the principle that other animal persons deserve the moral right to not be thought of as things, i.e. property, i.e. things to be exploited, and the legal right to not be treated as property. And exploitation, treating someone as a means to an end. Yeah, treating someone unfairly by profiting off their work, exactly. So yeah, that's why the concept of an ethical sheep farmer is illogical. I know I haven't done a members only live stream in a long time. Let's see, where was the video for Lonely Sunset film? Let me think again. I'm having trouble recalling what our video for Lonely Sunset looked like. It's kind of a weird song for us because it started off as kind of a project that Angie was doing with a progressive house producer in like Chile, South America. And they went so far, he never finished it for whatever reason. So we kind of just took the scraps of that, like her vocal tracks and some of the sounds from his production, and integrated it to one of my songs. So I don't fully consider it like one of my babies, even though it kind of is. I kind of forgot what the video looks like now. Is it from Las Vegas? Maybe I think that is it like shots of Angie walking around a little city or something like that? If so, that's Las Vegas. Let me know if that's the one is that the one I'm thinking of right now? She's just kind of walking around in her tights and looking all cool and sexy. Sammy wants me to read the comment below the Streamlabs bot. Let me look up to see if I can find it. Okay, in response to my retort or response about how the sheep's, wool is theirs and the act of taking it is inherently exploitative, Sammy retorts, but if the sheep's coat gets too thick, they can get parasites, infections, and even die. Well, that kind of sounds like what I hear from hunters, like having a justification, like, we have to shoot the deer in this forest because there's too many of them and they'll overpopulate. I'm not really buying it. My point is, though, if the sheep have been programmed by nature to make fur that's too thick, well, they must have some adaptations to it. But my point is, still, taking it away from them isn't like, it's still, even if they need to be shaved, you're still exploiting, you're still taking their work, whether they had to be shaved, like they're gonna die, they're gonna get all these parasites and die, you're still taking their work away. There's still no getting around the point, that this is inherently exploitative. Especially number two, the action of making use of and benefiting from resources. You're using the animal as a resource. So that's how I still see it as. You're still benefiting from some other sentient beings, an agent's body, their bodily work. You're taking it and benefiting from it. So if you wanted to be ethical, you could shave them down and just throw it away or let it decompose into the earth or something like that. That tells me you're doing something altruistic. You're doing it for them, the animals. They're the end. They're not a means to an end. You see them as a means to an end. If you buy this scenario, you see them as a means to acquire their wool. But if you really saw them as an end unto themselves in the Kantian deontological way, as agents, they are agents, you wouldn't see them as a means to get in their wool. You would treat them just because they're to be treated great. You just shave their wool because that's what they need. They have to have that done, or they're going to get sick and die, and you're not going to benefit from it. So that's why I see what's that problem called gosh, why am I having so much trouble tonight? Oh God! You see what I'm saying? You have an interest in their wool that you shouldn't have. If you want to help them, cool. But there's God, what the hell am I thinking of? I'm gonna blurt it out in 5 minutes. So maybe we'll see if I can blurt it out. But every sentient being benefits from another being's resources, be it further. I mean, not unfairly. We're that's different. We're not exploiting beings. Like, tell me, how am I violating like my vegan principles somehow? Just like maybe I'm not aware of it. How am I violating my stance against not only animal cruelty and exploitation, but human cruelty and exploitation? You're trying to make it sound like it's just normal. We all have to like treat people with cruelty and exploitation to function in this modern world. Is that
Ryan,
the argument?
My neighbors frequently drop
Tequila
off
Man.
eggs from their little chicken coop. What's a man to do? They are free roaming, well kept, nice chickens. They lay eggs, and the eggs get eaten. Eyes.
Hey, I'm hearing sounds now. Let me see. Okay, I'm still not hearing those sounds. Let me see if I can hear these sounds here.
Thanks for the tip.
Okay, I heard that.
This is a test donation for $8.
Okay, I'm just not hearing my sound effects. Oh, let me see your question again, though. Right, my neighbor frequently drops off eggs from their little chicken coop. What's a man to do? They are free roaming, well kept, nice chickens lay eggs, and while the eggs get eaten. Well, again, same exact point as the what we had going on. Let me go back here to the definition of vegan. Let's not have me just like sit here in an armchair and proclaim what I think is right and wrong like I'm some kind of vegan despot or something like that. What is veganism? It's a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. So again, in this case, Tequila Man, someone can make an argument, I think a pretty strong argument actually, that in this scenario that you paint here about their chickens that run around happy, free in the backyard or whatever, they're not being treated cruelly. The thing is there any exploitation going on here? Again, if you look at the definition of exploitation, the fact of treating someone unfairly in order to benefit from their work, and it even goes more deep than this definition, is basically treating someone or something as a means to an end, and you're treating the chickens as a means to an end, the end being getting their eggs and doing human things with it. And eggs are chicken business. This for chicken purposes, not for humans businesses. So if you truly cared for the chickens, once again, if you didn't see them as a means to an end, you wouldn't look at them as, oh, I'm just going to take their eggs because they need to be taken. You would just help them whatever they needed to do so they would thrive in the backyard. So I still have a problem, a moral problem with that, because I still see it as exploitative, taking a product away from a being that made it in order for you to benefit from it, when it's their business to do with as they want or need or please. So yeah, I still don't see a way to get around a strong argument that it's exploitative. Anyway, and their chicken periods. VLAM, yes, our intention towards other beings should be to take care for each other, not to seek financial gains, or just not even, it doesn't, you're right, it doesn't even have to be financial, just some kind of even gain, like it just, if you eat the egg, it's not a financial gain, but you gain something, you ate some product that was for the chicken business, not for human business. Okay, I see Sammy and Vegan Anthem discussing. I can't see all the stuff you're saying here. So what's your point? The point you're making about the sheep is that I'm not seeking sheep wool to exploit from, but rather using a waste product like excess wool to reinvest into sheep welfare, creating sustainable conservation
If my
efforts.
neighbors didn't give away eggs, I think each chicken would have a huge pile of eggs below them within a few days.
And let's see what the vegan
big piles,
anthem said.
and wouldn't have any room.
Okay, Vegan Anthem likes your call there. He says treating them in their interest is not exploitation. I still have a problem with the exploitative part of it that I can't undo in my head. So, we just call it a disagreement there. Okay, here's the point, Sammy, and if I saw you were doing this, I'm not going to make a call out video and say what a horrible person. He's taking sheep wool and making money off of it to reinvest in promoting sheep causes or something like that. I'm not going to I don't think that's a bad person. I think it's one of these edge cases, like almost like splitting hairs on something. Some things are obviously wrong. Some forms of animal cruelty and exploitation, there's just black and white, no ambiguity, wrong. This one, we're splitting hairs more than others. And that's just where I draw the line. And if you draw the line on another place, I respect that, and I'm not going to think that you're wrong and call you out for being not vegan there. That's just, you asked me for my opinion, where I stand on it. At least I'm being honest and telling you how I see that. And Tequila Man, thanks again for a super chat tip and following up there. If my neighbors didn't give away eggs, I think each chicken would have a huge pile of eggs below them within a few days, big piles, and they wouldn't have any room. Cool, not cool. I don't know. Maybe they shouldn't have chickens then. Maybe. I've never raised a chicken in my life. I don't know how it works out. They could just throw the eggs away or something like that. Just keep what they need or something like that. But I think soon as humans start benefiting from it, it's a conflict of interest. That was the phrase I was trying to think of a few minutes ago, and it eluded me at the time when I was thinking about the sheep farmer, the wool farmer. Same thing here. It's kind of a conflict of interest of sorts. One could argue there's a conflict of interest. Well, I just keep these chickens in my backyard because I love them and they're like pets. But then there's kind of a conflict of interest when you think, well, I know they're going to produce a bunch of eggs and I'm going to exploitively take these eggs for my benefit and my friend's benefit. That's how I see it. But again, it's one of these, it's not one of these black and white things. It's so horrible. It's obviously evil and bad and cruel and exploitative. I just still see it as exploitative, and that's just how my mind sees it. Yeah, chickens totally eat their own eggs, right? Late model. And I've never raised chickens, so late model points out chickens left alone don't produce, quote, piles of eggs. I don't understand chicken husbandry or whatever, how it all works out. I don't know. But yeah, I would say if the eggs are going to go to waste, let the chickens eat them, right? Can't the chickens eat their own eggs? Is there something not right about that? For us it sounds kind of weird, but as far as chicken nutrition goes, is there something inherently unhealthy about chickens eating their own eggs? You could have one could make an argument that if you let the chickens eat their own eggs, you don't have to feed them as much scraps or chicken feed or whatever because they're getting so much nutrients from their eggs that they're overlaying or whatever like that. But the bottom line is, late model, I agree. This is how I see it too. The eggs are not for us. They're the 100% reason why chickens or any creature, animal lays eggs. It's for their own species to reproduce from, to eat if they have an overabundance, and maybe other animals can come and eat them possibly. But for humans to come and say, well, I'm just going to scoop them up and eat them myself, I see a conflict of interest there. But again, if you're doing it, I'm not going to call you a bad person or anything like that. Someone else might. I have bigger fish to fry. Yeah, Vegan says, you've changed your name, right? Chickens have been genetically manipulated to produce, more eggs than they ought to. Exactly. So when you say I have this natural chicken situation in your backyard, you probably don't. You have a chicken that's been genetically manipulated. Humans using natural selection to breed chickens that produce way more eggs than the chickens that were originally found in the wild that didn't lay eggs so prolifically. So you didn't cause that. Understand, you're just at the end of this chain of chicken evolution and using the chickens that are available now. I get it, but still, just the fact that these chickens exist and lay eggs so prolifically to the point it's unhealthy for them, and you're letting that happen in your own backyard. See, I still see some ethical issues with that, Is it, I don't think you can totally wash your hands clean with your free roaming, loving backyard chickens. There's always going to be some concerns. Late model, personally, you're just waiting for your own eggs to mold over anytime now. Hey, you're getting pretty close, Gen Xer. Can't happen soon enough. And VLAM raises an excellent point. Let me read VLAM's comment verbatim. If you have to ask whether eating eggs in fringe scenarios, and again, these scenarios that people bring up are so fringe, they represent like maybe 0.01% of worldwide egg consumption, produced in these totally fringe, almost idyllic scenarios. Anyway, if you have to ask whether eating eggs in fringe best case scenarios is okay or not, it probably feels wrong, so just don't. And as your bottom line point is, we lose absolutely nothing by not eating eggs, meaning you don't have to eat eggs. There's nothing about eggs that, if you are without eggs for X amount of months or years, you're going to die or something like that. In fact, it could be argued that the high cholesterol in eggs is not the greatest thing for you. So there's absolutely zero reason to have to eat eggs. That's a huge point there. You can just eat plants and not have to bother with eggs, and then deal with the animal proteins and stuff in eggs and high cholesterol. Wow, what are you talking about there? I see Bible and slavery and Nazism. What the hell's going on here? Yeah, Carl points out, in olden times, chickens used to only lay a few eggs per month. Now they've been absurdly bred to produce an amount of eggs that's not sustainable for their long-term health. Ryan, you sent me a super chat? Oh, you did. Ryan, here is a video about backyard chickens from earthing Ed. I remember that video from before, and I've referred people to watch that before, and I think I remember a lot of the main points from it. I think he's the one where I really understood how grotesque the chicken bodies have been exploited by humankind to turn them into these egg popping out machines. It's not healthy for them. But yeah, thank you so much, Peter, for reminding me about that. Let's see. Anyway, Vegan says, I was saying it's idiotic to call chickens eating their own eggs cannibalism. I think I saw someone say that word earlier, and I was kind of like, what? How? It's not cannibalism. They're eating their own species, but in a totally different form. It's not really like an adult chicken, or it's the egg form. Anyway, they're just amniotic sacs. Exactly. It's not like eating. Hey, I have arms and legs and brains. And Allison, have you missed much? Yes, so much so. I gotta get going pretty soon. It's almost 2 hours here. You see, wow, yeah, I've done a lot tonight. But yeah, carnivore mom, chickens have been bred for production of eggs. They've been selectively bred over hundreds, maybe thousands of years. We'll look into that so that they produce way more eggs than they ought to. Why? For humans to exploit. The humans have exploited their bodies, their reproductive systems, and the chicken's health so they can produce all these eggs for humans to take away and use as they please. That's exploitation. So anyway, I don't raise chickens. I can't discuss the finer points, the subtleties of breeding chickens and how many eggs they lay. Do you need roosters and all this stuff? I don't know. It's funny how it's, like I said, it's like 0.01% of all like worldwide egg consumption comes from these backyard methods. But it's funny how that, given that it's so rare and like almost no one does it, how often I hear about it. It's like weird. It's like vegans always seem to have to ponder the possibility of being stranded on a desert island, right? And it's like these things that pretty much never happen seem to always kind of happen in my live streams. You know, it's interesting. I'm not complaining. I just find it just statistically like odd, you know. But anyway, it's time, guys. 2 hours live stream. That's my thing. I'm the master of the 2 hour live stream. I don't know if I'm a master of it, but that's my thing. That's my sweet spot there, especially on gym days, which Fridays typically are. And my gym days are probably not like your gym days. I'm not sitting there doing a bunch of squats and bench press or hitting the Smith machine like late model. I'm on the basketball court pretty much the entire time. Actually, before I go to the gym, I'm in my garage where I have a little makeshift gym there. I'm doing some battle ropes, kind of getting warmed up. So I'm doing some full body or upper body stuff too. But yeah, when I go to the gym, when I walk in there, I go straight to the basketball court, do all my stuff there, and go home. So thanks for all the super chat tips there. I hope to have some kind of vegan California soy latte. You hearing that, VD? And if I do, it'll be some kind of oat milk latte or some kind, or the marzipan latte at our favorite vegan Italian place, Mangia Foglia. Foglie? I don't know. I never studied Italian. I studied French, studied Spanish, so my Italian is horrible as far as understanding and pronouncing it, but I try my best. But a latte, nonetheless. I know I can pronounce that. So thanks, guys. So, yeah, hopefully Angie and I will be able to get out and have some kind of little fun of some kind of little meal, be it a brunch or a dinner or something like that. So either way, we'll take our tips here and use that sometime soon, guys. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys helping us to have a little bit of fun. You know, we don't do much. You guys know we don't travel much. You know, we don't fly on airplanes or anything like that anymore. Barely go on long car road trips anymore. So thank you for letting us just, have a little extra budget for a little local vegan fun food eating thing. So thanks so much. Thank you, Peter, Tequila Man, Fulmar Music, and AJ for your super kind super chat tips, and thank you for Uncle and Peter for being here, and thank you Late Model too for donating all those new channel members for our Happy Fam. So I really light a fire under my ass to get a Happy Fam only live stream happening someday soon. And I'll like I said, if I have to plan it, that's like the death of me doing something. I'll just have to do it like spontaneously. So if it works out time wise for you, awesome. And if it doesn't, I apologize, but you'd rather probably have me do one and have you miss it than me not do one altogether. So, and I'll try to get Angie in here too. She likes doing the channel membership only live streams because it's only you guys. You're not gonna have some random troll coming in. Hey, I eat meat. Vegan food smells like crap. It won't have any of that. She hates that kind of interaction. So she loves interacting with you guys. So I'll try my best to get something going this month now that we have all these new members. So thank you so much. Appreciate you guys spending your Friday nights with me. Really, it means a lot. You guys can do anything you want on your Friday nights, and you decide to hang out with little old me, like 50 of you guys here spending your Friday nights with me. I'm so touched, so honored, and humbled that you guys do this. Week after week, year after year, some of our longtime members here, our longtime viewers, thank you so much. Appreciate you all. So hopefully you guys are having a decent New Year's. Mine's starting off decently well. Hopefully, I was going to say I won't have my blood labs by next week, but I'll have seen the doctor then to get my panel. So hopefully I'll make a video. I haven't done a blood lab video in a long time. Hopefully it's good. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys more about that next week. So I'll let you know how the trip went to see the doctors. So anyway, guys, thanks so much. I plan to do another video for next week, and Peter sent me a third video involving Daily Mail saying stupid crap about veganism. I guess they want to get all the veganuary clicks or something like that. So I might have to make a third consecutive Daily Mail video, but I'll see what else is out there too. Because January is just getting started. I could boot that one back a week if there's something else. So anyway, guys, the Lakers have started too. Awesome, guys. All right, guys, so thank you so much. I will see you next week. Hopefully new video, Friday live stream. And remember, until then, guys, that I care about you and I love you guys hanging out with me, and it doesn't suck being vegan. Much love to you guys. Bye-bye.